We have just come off of the biggest members winning accumulator ever in the history of this channel with an insane 40-to-1 bet builder. I'm actually recording this on Wednesday evening. The rest of this video was made before the Champions League fixtures on Wednesday night, but I just had to come in and tell you about this. I'll tell you about all the winning accuracies from Monday and Tuesday, but we had another one, the Wednesday form favourites, Real Madrid -1, PSG and Benfica to win, odds of 4.41. That accumulator came in, but the main one of the night was my Juventus versus PSG bet builder, which had Mbappe to score first, Verratti to be booked, both teams to score, and PSG to win for odds of 41, which is insane. And we were one goal away from a 167-to-1 accumulator win with results in both teams to score. I had Real Madrid, AC Milan, PSG, Benfica, and Man City all to win with both teams to score. Real Madrid won 5-1, PSG won 2-1, Benfica won 6-1, Man City won 3-1, and AC Milan won 4-0. Salzburg had way over 1 XG. They've scored in every away game since March, but they couldn't score, so very, very close there, but still. 2 massive accumulator wins on Wednesday, so much so that I had to record it and make it this intro on this Premier League video. So now I'm going to play the Premier League video that I've made for today. This is just a little intro because it was an insane time. If you want to get involved with the members only tips, then be sure to click the join button down below or the first link in the description. With that being said, here is the rest of the video that I recorded about 10 hours ago. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Week 15 Premier League predictions. The channel has just reached 100 members, and what better way than to reach it in style. I'm recording this on Wednesday morning, but we have another back-to-back accumulator win Monday, Tuesday. It's been sick. So these are the winners of this week so far. We had the double up on Monday, Roma to win, and Plymouth double chance at 2.26. We had a Monday fourfold from 4 different leagues. Plymouth to win, Roma to win, Istanbul Başakşehir to win from Turkey, and the Midtjylland game to have 3 or more goals from the Danish Super League. Odds of 8.66 flying in. And then, of course, for the Champions League, we had the Tuesday safe treble. I got that because no treble is truly safe, but I felt pretty good about it. I had Porto, Tottenham double chance, and Ajax to win. All of them ended up winning, and all 3 of them were actually a perfect score prediction from the Champions League video on Monday. I predicted that Porto and Tottenham would win 2-1 and that Ajax would win 3-1. Crazy odds if I backed those 3 correct scores, but obviously that's a little bit risky. So before we get into the predictions, I just want to give a shout out to the new members that have joined since the Champions League video. We have Sakwan Coates. Unfortunately, I can't read those characters, but it's there on the screen. Guy Venix, TTSP PRME, MJK, Dirtpool3, SK Surya, Click Dollar Academy, Benjamin Collier, Live One More Day, AJ Samp, Thomas Namdi, Jack Hinchcliffe, Burton Mendoza, Chitan Bashka, Baska, Yerlan Sauron, Tony Mustonen, and Jepsy Pepsi. Thank you so much for joining the members club. I hope you enjoyed the exclusive member tips and accumulators that we've been giving out. So yeah, not entirely sure how the Wednesday or Thursday European fixtures have gone yet, but either way, a fantastic start to the week, and there's some spicy games this season, this week in the Premier League. Not to mention, actually, the free accumulator that I gave out in the Champions League video is still running as well, with Ajax winning last night, and I do have a treble. It's a massive odds treble for you at the end of this video for the Premier League, so stick around. Kicking it off though, we do have Leeds up against Bournemouth. Leeds pulling off one of the upsets of the season, beating Liverpool at Anfield up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth getting 2 goals up against Spurs and then throwing the lead away in the dying moments of the game, losing 3-2. That seems to be a typical Spurs thing to do at the moment. For this game, I am going to back the home side. I think that Bournemouth at home would expect to get some points against Leeds, but Leeds after that win against Liverpool can really, this is the perfect game to build on a win like that. Bournemouth at home, right? So I'm going to go for a Leeds 2-1 win. I think Leeds are going to win. I could tip Leeds to win at 1.73, but at the same odds, 1.72. I'm going to go for over 2.5 goals because we have seen a few upsets in the past with Bournemouth, and going with goals might have actually worked out better than going against Bournemouth. So because I'm going against Bournemouth here, I'm going to try and side with either result, perhaps 2-1 either way, 2-2, something like that, and go for over 2.5 goals at 1.72. After that, it's Manchester City up against Fulham. Now, at the moment, I am a little bit in the dark about Man City. I don't know the result of the Sevilla game. I assume Haaland wouldn't play that and that he would come back for this game. I'm going to give Fulham a goal because they've been decent this season. They're in a European spot there. Conference League. That is the Conference League spot, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is anyway. So I'm going to give them a goal. They've been looking decent, and Man City, they do concede here and there. Not so much at home, but I think Fulham, you've got to give them their credit. You can't keep a clean sheet against Man City, so you have to go for it. I'm going to go for 4-1 to Manchester City. My tip is Man City to win and both teams to score at 2.4. Now, after this, we do have Nottingham Forest up against Brentford. I'm actually going to have a prediction that I had that came in last week. I perfectly predicted that Brentford and Wolves would draw 1-1. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Brentford, but I'm going to go for that same tip that I did in that previous game week that came in. Brentford double chance and under 3.5 goals at 1.8. Are there going to be 4 goals? I highly doubt it. Are Brentford going to lose? Again, I highly doubt it. Next up, it's Wolves up against Brighton. Wolves obviously drawing with Brentford, as I said. Diego Costa seeing red in the 97th minute. And Brighton absolutely thumping Chelsea 4-1. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Brighton win. And my tip is Brighton to win 2.13. It says here I've got it as 2.15. I think Brighton this season are just playing too good for Wolves. I think in other seasons, I would definitely say this would be a draw. Perhaps a very strong 0-0 candidate. But I think with Wolves playing slightly worse than they have done in previous seasons and Brighton playing so much better, currently in that 8th spot with the game in hand over Fulham as well, of course, I think Brighton can get the win. Even though it's at Molineux, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Brighton. After this is Everton up against Leicester. Everton on 14 points, Leicester on 11. 3 separates them, even though they're 5-6 places apart in the Premier League. So it's very close together. Whilst I think on paper, Leicester are a better team, and at the King Power Stadium, for example, if they're both playing their best, I'd give the win to Leicester. I think Everton are very, very good at Goodison Park. I don't think they'll lose this game. I'm going to go for a low-scoring game. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between the two teams. And my tip is actually the draw. I've got it at 3.4. The odds here say 3.18, but we're going with 3.4. And that will be included in a little accumulator later, so stay tuned. After that, it's the big game, the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea up against Arsenal. Now, Arsenal's recent record against Chelsea isn't actually that bad. And you have to say, their recent record in the Premier League isn't that bad. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm always reluctant to do this as an Arsenal fan, but I am actually going to predict an Arsenal win at the Bridge. Chelsea just look a little bit up and down. Now, obviously, they've got Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League. Not quite sure how that's going to go. I'd imagine quite a low-scoring game. Arsenal are going to score twice. I really do feel like that. I know Chelsea have a decent defense, but Arsenal's attack has been so good this season. I do think they will probably concede. Don't get me wrong, on the day, Chelsea might come out of the blocks flying and just beat Arsenal, but you can't really look past the form of Arsenal lately and the turbulent few weeks Chelsea have had. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Arsenal. My tip is Arsenal draw no bet at 1.83. Both teams at 1.83 on a draw no bet, and you have to say with form, Arsenal should be slight favourites in this one. So I'm going with Arsenal draw no bet. After that, it's Aston Villa up against Manchester United. I am assuming Unai Emery finally gets a game on the touchline for this fixture. I think Man United are just going to shade this. Aston Villa obviously just got absolutely thumped by Newcastle, and Man United did the business against West Ham. It was one of those clinical sort of wins. 1-0. It was a very good header from Rashford, actually. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Man United, but my tip is going to be both teams to score at 1.66. There's been a few results between Aston Villa and Man United in recent history where there's been a little bit of an upset. In fact, I remember there was a massive accumulator I had 3 years ago, and the only result I needed was Man United to beat Aston Villa to win $80,000, and the game ended 2-2. I'm saying that on the fly, but let me just get the game up so you know I'm not lying to you about it. Aston Villa, Man United. Where is it? 2-2. So what did I tell you? This was the game. Had Man United won this game, it would have been $80,000. See, I told you I wasn't making it up. This one right here. Moving on to St. Mary's Stadium. Southampton up against Newcastle. How on earth do you stop the tune with the way they are playing? I'm going to go for a convincing win. I think Southampton might be able to score. Maybe, maybe not. I think Newcastle and both teams to score could be a good shout, but these odds look good enough to me. 1.87. My tip is Newcastle to win. Like I said, how do you stop Newcastle on this run? The only game they've lost this season was that late winner, or loser, I guess you could say, against Liverpool, and I think they were hard done by. Had that not happened, they'd be the only unbeaten team in the top 5 European leagues, because now Napoli has been defeated by Liverpool in the Champions League. Benfica still undefeated, but I'm not sure if the Portuguese league is considered a top 5 league. So had Newcastle not lost to Liverpool, they'd be the only team unbeaten this season, which is absolutely unreal. So I'm going to go for another Newcastle win there. West Ham, Crystal Palace. I think West Ham, they're starting to climb their way up the table, now find themselves in 13th. Crystal Palace in 10th. I'd say that's about fair. I think a few weeks ago, I think that Palace should have been in a better position than they were, but they've picked up a couple of wins in the last few fixtures. However, like I said, they don't travel particularly well. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to West Ham. You know what? We'll go... West Ham games are quite low scoring. I'm tempted to give Palace a goal, Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. We'll do it. We'll give Palace a goal because they do have some good attacking talent there. So we go 2-1 to West Ham. My tip is West Ham to win. I've got 1.9. It says 1.86. The final game, Tottenham up against Liverpool. This is a really difficult one. I tell you what, Tottenham's performance against Marseille was pretty abysmal. For the first half, most definitely. They thought they parked the bus. I think if Marseille didn't score in the first half, Marseille might still be in Europe. But because they scored in the first half, Tottenham came out and said, hang on a minute, we're a Champions League, Premier League team. Let's start playing football. And then the second half, I thought Tottenham played really well and in the end deserved the win, I guess. But that first half was so abysmal. And I have no idea how Conte is going to line up against this Liverpool side who just managed to beat Napoli, which, I mean, they're the first team of the season to do so. I'm going to shade it to Liverpool. I know it's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They have fantastic form there, but there's something about Tottenham that just seems a bit wrong. I know Liverpool and Tottenham have drawn the last two meetings in the Premier League, but Liverpool won the two before that. I think Liverpool, can catch them napping away from home. It's going to come good for Liverpool at some point. I think if Liverpool were top of the league, winning all their games like they have done in recent years, this could be a banana skin. But I think because Liverpool have got some real catching up to do, I do think Tottenham are vulnerable. So I'm going to go for a Liverpool win. My tip is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.83 because I'm not that confident on the result. And I think both teams will score, and then you just got to add one more for 1.83. So I think that's good value. So you can see my picks there. I then do have a treble for you. It's pretty speculative, but it's going to be Brighton to win at 2.15, Newcastle to win at 1.9, and Everton and Leicester to draw at 3.4. And that gives you odds of 13.95. So maybe worth a tenner just to try and get £140. Not a bad shout. Obviously, the draw, not super likely, but I think it could happen. I made a little draw double for myself last week of Brentford and Wolves and Fulham Everton, and that ended up coming in. I also had Jordan Pickford as my goalkeeper for the Fantasy Premier League, who got me a lot of points, so that was a good pick. But there it is in good old paint. That is the accumulator for this week. Like I said, it is speculative, including the draw in there and 2 away wins at around about evens, but definitely possible. So that is going to do it for the Premier League predictions this week. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like. Subscribe down below. We'll have another Premier League video coming out very soon, and then it's all about the World Cup, and I'm sure you don't want to miss it. Massive shout out again to all of you members that I've shouted out in these recent videos. I love interacting with you, leaving comments, talking, chatting about games, and all that good stuff. So if you want to get involved, click the join button down below. That is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.